I'm going to be very controversial, and this is what I'm going to say. The name on your saw does not matter nearly as much as the sharpness of your chain. You can have a pretty lackluster saw and a real sharp chain and still get a lot of work done. You can have the best saw on the planet and have a very dull chain and where you're just throwing powder and it is no good at all.
I once was lost, oh, but now I am found. Was blind, but now I see.
Hey everybody, welcome to Built on Faith Homestead. Today I got a lot to do, but there's a big cold front come through and I'm wanting to do some deer hunting tomorrow with a friend of mine. And I have this area we found when we was looking for mushrooms and I want to check out, and we're going to try to hit tomorrow to do some deer hunting. And I have got Luella down here with me, late morning. We're just going to slip up in the woods here, and I kind of want to take a quick gander at this place in the fall. In the spring it looked like a really dandy place to be, and so we want to check it out. And then we got to cut some firewood and do all kinds of stuff today, but we're going to check this out too. You excited? Yeah. All right, come along with us. I don't know if you guys can see it or not, but right here is a deer track on this little trail, and we haven't had no rain in a long time. That's a powdery track here. This is what I'm looking for. So we are sitting down by the water away from where we're going to want to hunt tomorrow, me and a good friend of mine. So we slipped in real quiet, very slowly slipped in and quietly slipped in to the area that I seen in the springtime when I was mushroom hunting that I thought looked like a prime place to put some meat in the freezer. And so Luella's throwing rocks into the river because that's what a kid does. Luella and I slipped in there, found the deer track that we recorded for you. It's a very established trail up through there. I'm talking like bark knocked off of trees, looks like a cow path. There's no reason for humans to go up there. And so I don't think it's human-made trail by any stretch of the imagination, especially since there's deer tracks in it. Also found a scrape up through there and a couple of good pinch points and a couple places that me and that friend of mine can sit tomorrow, maybe about 150 yards or so apart. I'll be at one pinch point and he'll be at the other. And so I think it looks good. What do you think? You think it looks good up there, Lou Bug?
What?
The deer hunting? You think it looks like it'd be a good place to deer hunt?
Probably.
Probably. Can we stay down here? No. We got a lot to do still. I still got to cut firewood. And we got to go to town. Aw.
Am I going with you to town?
Yes.
Yes!
You want to just stay at the river all day?
No.
No? What if I stayed here? Would you want to stay with me all day at the river? Yeah, I figured. All right, guys. We will catch up with you on the rest of this video. It can't be all fun and games. We do got to cut some firewood, which, oddly enough, I actually kind of enjoy. So, come along with us, and we'll cut some firewood in this video later. And at least that's the plan, unless things change throughout the day. And I got to go to town, do some running. And maybe tomorrow we'll try to record some hunting. Stick around with us if firewood is something that interests you. Well, hope you've enjoyed the little bit of scouting that we videotaped. I know we didn't videotape much, but I was trying to be super quiet because I know we were in a kind of a bedding area, truthfully, and it's going to be kind of an aggressive hunt when we go in there, and I wanted to slip in and slip out. But now, on to the other part of our day, which is cutting some firewood. And as you can see behind me, there's some deadfall here on my father-in-law's property that we are going to start hacking up for some firewood for this winter. Good seasoned out wood. And so we're gonna get started on that. But I do want to talk about firewood. First of all, if you're gonna burn firewood or you're planning on burning firewood, please understand that, especially when you start out, right, it's a pretty expensive thing to get into. Buying a chainsaw and that kind of stuff, if you don't already have a truck, you're gonna have to get some sort of vehicle to move the wood with and those kinds of things, a trailer, something. And so, plus you put in the wood stove and all that jazz, it's expensive. And that's one of the negative downfalls. It's a lot of work. That might be one of the negative downfalls. Now, this is work I actually enjoy. I enjoy cutting wood. Does not faze me or bother me or make me mad or upset or anything like that. You look at wood completely differently. You look at old dead trees completely differently when you cut firewood. Also, we like to smoke wood, or smoke at our house, smoke meat at our house. Let me be very clear here. And so I'm talking old twisted up pieces and stuff you can't hardly split with a splitting maul. We'll use them for something. So we burn wood for heat. We like to use wood to cook with on our smoker. And then also, we've got a fire ring out back. And so push comes to shove, like it'll burn in the fire ring, right? And we enjoy spending evenings out at it. And so there's all kinds of positives. Plus, if you use an inside wood cast iron stove like what we have, you can cook on it. Ours has got a big front glass door, which means it provides a lot of light. And so there's a lot of positives too. The power ever goes out or anything like that, we'll be just fine. We can cook with it. This is why I'm a big proponent of the indoor wood stove. Slightly more dangerous potentially, but a whole lot more advantages. I don't need electricity to run it, and I can still heat and cool. I can still heat the house and cook with it. Also, if you're gonna do this, you can also, if you know other people that cut firewood, or you know people that has had tree work done at their house or whatever, a lot of times they're more than happy to have you come cut wood off of their stuff that they've had done. And folks is usually pretty quick to give wood. And I'll give you an example. The other day, I had a guy get a hold of me and said, hey, would you mind coming to clean out my flue from my fireplace? I said, I don't mind at all. Some good family friends of ours. In fact, I consider them more family than I do friends. And the guy wanted to pay me and I wouldn't take it, didn't want payment. I just wanted to do something nice for him. And finally, he decided he was going to give us some firewood, and it was going to be a trade for cleaning out that flue. And he gave us a truckload of firewood, which was awesome, and I'm very thankful for that. And so it's also a good bartering tool if it's something that you want to get into, or could be a good bartering tool if it's something that you got into. There are more positives than there are negatives, but I will admit, especially when you first start out, chainsaws and splitting mauls, and if you don't have a truck, you're going to have a trailer, you're going to have something to haul the wood in. Like, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that it's you know, all around the cheapest way to do it, but it is a very cheap way. If you already have a truck and you are already doing a few things like that, maybe you already have a chainsaw, even if you don't, right? Chainsaws are expensive. Don't hear what I'm not saying. I'd say you could expect to spend, if you go buy a new one, anywhere between $300 and $500 depending on what you want. But that chainsaw, I've had mine for over 10 years, you know what I mean? And so that space is out, and it works out okay. Plus we use it for all kinds of other things as well. So it's not something that is, you know, it's a one-time expense. That's very expensive, plus maintenance and chains and all that good stuff, right? But the chainsaw itself, it's going to last you quite a while if you take good care of it. And so it'll work out. But the benefits of having that heat source that doesn't need electricity, having something I can cook with, the old famous, right, wood heat heats you a few different ways when you're cutting it, when you're splitting it, when you're stacking it, and when you're burning it. And so there's also all of that. And so today we're just going to get after it. I'll show you a quick couple little pointers maybe as we kind of get going. Nothing, I'm not a high-tech wood cutter. So it'll be nothing crazy, but we will show you a little bit anyhow. Obviously safety first, right? That root wad, as I go to cutting hunks out of here, is going to want to make that stand up, especially pointing downhill into this little drainage ditch, plus the root wad being down there, right? So just be careful of that. Watch stuff over your head, all of that good stuff. Earplugs, gloves, glasses, those kinds of things is something a person probably ought to have. And then if you are not good at, like I'm not, if you're not good at figuring out how, like, staying consistent with your cuts, right? Where you're burning is going to have a lot to do with it. But say you want to cut a piece from here to here, and you want all your pieces about the same size. If you're not good at that, like I'm terrible at it, you can actually just use your chainsaw, lay the bar of the saw up, and use that for your measurement, and then cut. Lay the bar up and cut. Lay the bar up and cut. And that'll give you good uniform pieces if that'll work for you. It'll work good for what we're doing. And so just a few things like that. Plus you can pay attention to wood grains and that kind of stuff when you split it, and we'll get more into that in probably other videos. Also, as you can tell, there's a lot of little stuff in here, right? This kind of stuff here. And a lot of guys just discard all that. I will not, because I'll pick a lot, probably not all of it, but I'll pick a lot of it up. And here's why. It's good fire starter. Already broke that piece off. It's good fire starter. It don't take much to get a fire going if you got a bunch of that stuff around. Also, it's good for starting the campfires, and it's also good for starting the wood smoke fires when we're smoking meats. And so it's got a lot of positives to it if you'll take the time to gather it up. It don't take long. It's light and easy. If your wife and your children are helping you, it's a good thing for your kids to pick up as you go along. Something they can load and feel like they're really helping, and they really are helping a lot more than they probably even understand or realize. Excuse the wood chips in the beard. It is windy, and that is going to happen. But I wanted to show you guys real quick just what like one tank of gas through our chainsaw will do approximately, and talk about chainsaws a little bit. So as you can tell, we got that one tree. It ran out like almost exactly at getting that one smaller tree kind of worked up. And so we've got it all kind of chunked up and ready. I think today all I'm gonna do, because I'm running late on time, I got out here a lot later than I thought, and we got some other stuff this evening, which is a good thing. I'm not complaining about that. It is just part of it, right? And so I think today what we'll do is we'll chunk it up and get it, maybe even split if I get enough time. Then all I gotta do tomorrow is come up here and load it, right? And so that'll be a nice fun thing to do. Come hang out with the cows a little bit and load some firewood. Father-in-law's cows coming to check me out as I'm over here cutting some wood. Now, I am not in any way sponsored or affiliated with Steel equipment. However, I have a Steel MS290. Like I said, I've had this for, I don't know, at least 10 years. And have really enjoyed using it. Of course, you're gonna have to have mixed fuel and some bar oil to go into the chainsaw. Bar oil is incredibly important to keep your chain lubed up, keep it cool, and also helps keep it from getting too hot and getting dull on you and warped and all messed up. You want to keep oil in it. There is a lot of debate. You think guys argue about Ford and Chevy and Dodge and all that craziness. They will argue about chainsaws like nobody's business. Yes, I bought a Steel some years ago. I have enjoyed this saw. It's been a good running saw. I've never had much for issues for it. I got some water in my gas one time, and that was about it. It has always treated me well enough. I'd probably buy another one. However, I've also used Echoes and Husqvarnas and those kinds of things, and always had good luck with them. I'm going to be very controversial, and this is what I'm going to say. The name on your saw does not matter nearly as much as the sharpness of your chain. You can have a pretty lackluster saw and a real sharp chain and still get a lot of work done. You can have the best saw on the planet and have a very dull chain and where you're just throwing powder, and it is no good at all. I'll try to show you this chain, right, is throwing, if you can kind of tell here, pretty good slivers still yet. So it's making life pretty easy for us as we work through this. I have no idea what kind of tree this is. Comment down below if you know. I don't have a clue. I've done this my whole life, but I'm not a tree person. I just don't know what a lot of them are, and especially the leaves being gone and stuff. I can pick out some of them, but I don't have a clue. But it's chunking up pretty good and working pretty good for us. I like it, but we will just keep going on. I also want to show you, I don't know that I'm going to split any today, but while I'm videoing, I can show you real quick. You take a piece like this here. I'm trying to stay out of the light here. You can see how it's kind of got a crack started here. When I go to split that, this crack started along here, I'm going to try to hit that pretty close to there, and it will help it bust apart nice and easy. Pay attention to the grain on your wood, and it makes life easy for you when you are cutting or when you're splitting. And so that's just some stuff to pay attention to. Makes it nice and easy. This little round wood like this, a lot of people don't care for it. I actually really like it. I like how it burns, especially in our wood stove. Nice and slow. Doesn't burn super hot, but hot enough to keep our little house warm, that's for sure. And it cuts down on having to use so much split wood. This will burn a little bit slower. Throw 3 or 4 pieces in there like this, and have you a nice long fire. So that's kind of what you can expect. Once again, this stuff's not free, right? It costs gas and all that kind of stuff to cut wood like this. However, I do think it's a worthwhile adventure. As far as I'm concerned, as long as the good Lord gives me the health to do it, we'll cut firewood. Guys, I appreciate you watching this video. Please like and subscribe to our channel. Please check us out on Rumble at Leaving Egypt. I always say welcome to Built on Faith Homestead because that's our YouTube channel, but also look us up on Rumble. All right, guys, I gotta get back to work, and we will catch you on the next video.